What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're looking at some of those Transformers battle cards. You see, we've not had a chance to get through all of them, and the new set is coming out on Friday, and frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we need to look at some more cards. And today we're actually going to be looking at 4 new cards, because we are going to be looking at all of the bold and all of the tough that we've yet to look at from Wave 3. So let's start off having a little bit of a look at Smoke Cloak. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Smoke Cloak. Kind of like saying that. Now, it's got a black and a blue pip, and this is extremely important. I have given you my theory in several videos that these black icons are seen as very good by the designers of the card game, because they generally give us fairly weak cards, objectively weaker than the alternative, but you get the black icon, so that's what kind of makes it acceptable, so to speak. And you get a blue icon as well, and this is good because you want tough in defensive decks, and you want blue icon in defensive decks, and generally they don't tend to give us too many cards that have both tough and blue icons. So we could look at something like Body Armor, for instance, which is melee characters only, gives you tough 3, but has an orange icon. And we see this time and time again. If they help you defensively, they give you a orange icon. If they help you offensively, they give you a blue icon to balance it out a little bit. Here you get the blue icon and the black icon. I love the icons. But you got tough 1. Tough 1 is not good, ladies and gentlemen. Tough 1 is extremely uninspiring. And frankly, if you just want tough on an upgrade, and bearing in mind this is an armor, this is using your armor slot here. If you want tough on an upgrade, we can do a whole heap better than tough 1. No. I mean, look, improvised shield gives you tough 1, but it also has a DC to give you a double orange icon. Although again, if you're playing a full defensive deck, maybe you're not into the double orange icon. But back in Wave 1, we had reinforced plating. Gives you tough 2 and still gives you the blue icon. Frankly, it is uninspiring. Evasive maneuvers can give you tough 3. Although tough 3 is a little bit good, so we do make it fall off at the end of the turn. Unlike something like Body Armor, which doesn't fall off, but can only be put on melee characters. Although because it falls off, it is also worthy of having a blue battle icon. But really, if you just want to go kind of generic tough here, how about Sparring Gear? Because you see, Sparring Gear, okay, it's got the orange icon, but it gives you tough 2 and it's got a green icon, which means if you flip it while attacking or defending, you can easily get it out of your scrap pile. You just swap it for a card in your hand. So that means that it's going to be easier to find. So frankly, you're playing this for the black icon. If you want a defensive deck with Pierce, and you want tough, and you want blue icon, and you want black icons, this is great. But you need to be up for the combination of it, because if you're playing it just for tough, it ain't good enough, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't good enough. Speaking of underwhelming cards with black icons, how about Smoke Thrower, the counterpart to Smoke Cloak? It has got a black icon, but only a black icon, and it's got bold 2. And my thoughts on Smoke Thrower are extremely similar to my thoughts on Smoke Cloak. If you want it for the black icon, yay! If you don't want it for the black icon, then why are you even bothering to play the card? It's not good enough. Okay, 2 is better than 1, and that's what you're getting, bold rather than the aforementioned tough. But the problem is we can do bold 2 way more easily here. Flamethrower gives you bold 2, and it does give you the orange icon as well. So if you are going for the really aggressive offensive deck, this is cool. Don't get the Pierce, but you still get the bold 2. And then we could also look at Power Sword, which is alright. It's only for melee characters, but it's still bold 3. And of course, let's not forget we've got Backup Beam, which again, it has the green icon. So that means that it's quite easy to get out of your scrap pile at the end of a battle. So even though it's only giving you bold 2 again, because it's easier to find, it is a lot of the time better, because what you don't want is play a bunch of good upgrades, which you can only see when you're flipping for attacking or defending, and you never get it in your hand ready to attach. Or we can go Power Punch, which gives you bold 3, not unlike body armor, but then gets scrapped at the end of the attack. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we're back where we started. If you want bold on a black icon card, go for it. It's cool. If you don't, and you want bold, there are better options. But if we move away from these black icon cards, there are a couple of other tough and bold cards we need to have a little bit of a chat about, starting off with Extra Padding. Extra Padding has both a blue and a green icon. Blue is good for defensive, which you want here, and green means you can actually find it, which is nice, and it gives you tough 1. Now, I don't need to go through the whole tough 1 business, we just did that with Smoke Cloak, but I've already shown you in this video that tough 1 in and of itself is not terribly impressive. Even tough 1 with a green icon isn't particularly impressive because we've got sparring gear. But you see, the trick to Extra Padding is you can put 3 of them in 1 armor slot. Oh, yeah, that actually makes quite a significant difference. This makes it a whole lot better than it would otherwise be. This is cool, ladies and gentlemen. We like Extra Padding. Now, we've seen this with a bunch of other cards, like Attack Drone, for instance, because you can put 3 of them on at the same time. You kind of need the green icons so that you can get them in your hand, because trying to get 3 of them in your hand at the same time without having green icons would be nigh on impossible. And that's the other thing we need to mention about Extra Padding, very much like Attack Drone here. Yeah, you can put them all on at once. So when you attach Extra Padding, you can then play another Extra Padding and then another Extra Padding, get all 3 on in one go. Tough 1 isn't good. But when you add in the blue icon, and you want tough with blue icon, so that's nice, and the green icon, which means you're going to be able to find it more easily, and then you imagine that you're actually putting 3 of these on in one go, now, ladies and gentlemen, now we can actually be rolling with this. Tough 1 is not impressive, but tough 3 in a deck where you're playing blue icons and it's adding blue icons as well, that I can get significantly more in favour of. And the final card we need to have a little bit of a chat about today is Heat of Battle. Heat of Battle is an extremely interesting card, and I don't know exactly how I feel about it. It's a weird kind of card. You get a white icon, so if it's the first one you flipped while attacking or defending, you flip 2 extra cards. And it gives everyone bold free and tough free until end of turn. And I think what I'm thinking here is sideboard. Or I know what my messer is. Because the thing is, let's say I'm playing something like Insecticons. And I'm going full orange. And I'm playing against one of these defensive builds of Optimus Prime. And they're going full blue. Well, I'm expecting to hit roughly as many orange icons as they do blue, so this Heat of Battle hasn't really done anything for me. But let's say I'm playing an Insecticon mirror match. Well, now all of a sudden, I'm giving myself bold free and my opponent tough free, but that doesn't matter because they're not gonna have any blue icons. So tough 3 might as well be tough a billion. They're not getting any real value out of this. So in that situation, it turns into a card which basically just gives me bold free. Oh. Yeah, I actually really like getting bold free. Bold free makes me very, very happy. Bold free, we're in Power Sword territory here. It's kind of awesome. Now, to be fair, we did have Supercharge back in Wave 1, and Supercharge gives one of your characters bold free until end of turn. And if you're just trying to use this to give you bold, well, why not just play Supercharge? And one answer is maybe you want the white icon, but another answer is it's all characters. So let's say you're doing that thing where you've got more characters remaining than your opponent, so you get to do 2 or 3 attacks this turn, because if all of your opponent's characters are tapped, then at the end of your turn you attack with all of your characters. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're rolling. Or maybe you're playing something like Blur that can attack twice. Or maybe you're combining this with an all-out attack, though they are both action cards, so you will need to remember to play a Brainstorm beforehand, or else it's not really going to work. My point is that if you want an action card to give yourself bold free, Supercharge is here. But what if you're playing a blue deck? What if you're playing a hyper blue deck and you're playing this to get an advantage over hyper orange decks? Well, there is no Supercharge, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, there is no action card that's going to give you tough free. That doesn't exist. So in that respect, yeah, we're liking it very much indeed. This is a situational card. This is one of those where it's not going to be for everyone and it's not going to be for every deck, but there are plenty of times you are going to be able to make quite a lot of use of it. Maybe you put it in your sideboard and bring it out against particular decks where you know it's going to help you and not your opponent. Maybe you play it because your local meta is full of the opposite. By which I mean you want orange, they want orange, so you want bold, they don't want tough. If you're playing in a mirror match where it's going full orange and you're playing this, you're getting bold free and your opponent is getting tough free, but it's irrelevant. But if you're playing an orange deck against a blue deck or a blue deck against an orange deck, then this really does make it kind of even. And maybe you flip more orange than they flip blue, but maybe you don't. And I don't know how I feel about playing cards that might help my opponent as much as me. I adore the design of this card. I think it's one of the more interesting, more thought-provoking cards we're getting in Wave 3. I think it's awesome. Do I think it's good? I think in some matchups, it's literally just a bold or tough free action card with a white icon. And certainly for tough free, that makes it both unique and awesome. But I think there are going to be a whole bunch of matchups here where it's not going to do a huge amount for you. So there we go, that's my opinion on it. I would like to know what your opinion on it is. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Transformers and a whole bunch of others. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.